How do you run this thing? Well guys, I got an interesting call today. We've been working on our 2010 Ford F-350 Cummins powered Fummins swap. We kind of need to stop working on that for a second because I got something else we need to go do. Now, we bought a dozer, actually a Caterpillar D7F dozer. And I thought I was gonna have to go get this dozer because it was sitting up north, but ended up they wanted it out of there quick. So my cousin went up there and brought another dozer with him, got it pushed onto a trailer, and it's sitting over at his house now. Now this dozer hasn't been started in about 6-7 years probably. So we're gonna grab some batteries, grab some jumper cables, and go over there and see if we can get it started. Oh, and by the way, my name's Weston, welcome back to the channel. All right, let's do this. Well guys, this dozer is a pretty good sized girl. So we're gonna need plenty of battery power to get her started. Now these are the batteries out of the F700. These are, I think they're like 1,000 amp batteries. Yeah, 1,200 amp batteries. I don't know if that's going to be enough, but if it's not, we brought the all Hail Mary of batteries. I ain't joking you. Look at this thing. Anyway, how many amps does this thing have? It didn't even say. It's like, don't worry. If you got to ask how many amps, then you don't need to know. It's got a bunch. So this is a 36 series battery out of a big John Deere tractor, and this is a couple of batteries out of the old F700. So let's see if we got enough cranking power. We're going to go over there and see if we can get it started. I think this battery here is just a little bit low. These I think are about fully charged, but I think they're a little bit low too. But when we get over there, let's get over there and see if we can get it started. So, oh my God, this thing was heavier than my ice cream. All right, let's do this. So guys, here we are looking at our beautiful yellow dozer. Now, what can I tell you about this thing? It is probably a 1973 Caterpillar D7F, and realistically, these dozers here are pretty much bulletproof. This one here is a power shift, I believe, which means that, you know, you don't got to select the gear before you take off. It's power assisted shifting. That's a really nice feature. It's actually one of the first dozers to come out with that, if I remember right. Somebody in the comment section will probably correct me if I'm wrong. So whatever I say wrong, just look in the comment section. It'll be there. This one here, I think, is a 200 horsepower. It weighs about 45,000 pounds. She is a big girl. Now, this dozer's been sitting for about 7 to 10 years. The guy didn't know exactly how long, but it had been sitting for a while. But for an old Caterpillar that's mechanical and not much electronics and anything on it, that's just like it been sitting for a month. And it is a monster of a motor. It sits really low down in that belly pan, but believe me, it's there. And I think we can make it run. I've got faith in it. It's a yellow Caterpillar. It'll run. It'll purr like a kitten. Or like a caterpillar.
You know, I'm just realizing that's probably where that phrase came from. It'll purr like a kitten.
Yeah, that's exactly where it came from.
Is it really?
Yeah, because these old Caterpillars, they leave these things set for so long, and you know what? They just hit the key and they'll fire right up.
So you don't really expect something dramatic on this deal?
I bet you we put batteries in this thing, as long as it's not locked up, it will fire right up. I mean, I really don't envision it having no issues at all. I mean, it has been sitting for 7-8 years, so who knows, but I really don't think it's going to be that big a deal to get it started. Unless there's something wrong with the electrical system, because that's their only weak point. But all we got to do is get it to turn over. Because there's nothing electrical to make the engine run. It's all mechanical. I mean, even to shut the engine off, you push in a lever. But it does have a detachable exhaust. It's laying over there on top of the seat. I do know thieves have got to it, and they stole the batteries out of it. But before we get around to trying to start it, let's do an inventory of the dozer and kind of see what kind of machine it is. Anyway, let's look at the undercarriage down here. Now, the first things you want to look for is these rollers, which they look in pretty good shape. And you want to look at this chain. Now, let's see. You want to look at the inside of these chain links there and see how much they're wore down. And this chain actually looks really good. Our front roller looks good. And then the other thing you want to check, obviously, you know, all of your grouser packs and everything, but they're all on there good, is your sprocket. Now this is your sprocket right here. This is your main drive that drives your big dozer chain around. And what will happen over time is these teeth will wear off to the point that they'll start skipping, like a bicycle chain that's loose. So that's one thing you want to check as well, is make sure that these sprockets are in good shape. And the reason you want to look at all this is because when it comes to these big dozers, if you got to start replacing undercarriage parts, you're talking about a lot of money. I mean, I would hate to see how much all that undercarriage stuff cost if you had to put a whole new undercarriage under this dozer. So, all right, let's see what we need to get this thing started. I guess we better check the oil. Check oil, see if we got diesel in it, see if we got water in it. Sounds like the first thing is to check.
I think you mispronounced that. Don't you mean kitty litter?
Yeah, we
no, not kitty litter, catnip.
No, we got the catnip in the can. These old caterpillars love catnip. I slip down and fall. That's gonna be. Ooh, look at that.
Well, it's definitely black.
It says it checked the engine oil while it's running. That's weird. But it's full. This has got that optional detachable exhaust. Stay right there. Good exhaust. Yeah, not bad. Okay. Okay. Let's look, see if it's got diesel in it. Now on these old dozers, people want to know how you check the fuel. This is your fuel gauge. Take the cap off. Drop that down in there. Yep, we got some diesel.
Is that official?
Yeah,
product?
that's an official Caterpillar product stick. Then you can just discard it and find you a new one.
Have to run to the cat dealer to get another one.
Gosh dang, this old fuel cap is thick. Whew. How do you run this thing? All right, there's that. There's the blade control. Look at this. This is the view you get from power. So everything looks pretty good up here. These, let me see here. These rods right here are free. Our brakes are free. That one there don't feel like it's hooked up to nothing, but that one there feels like it is, so that's good. It might just be really loose. We got our deaccelerator right there, throttle, and everything's free. This is your blade control, backs up, forwards down, left, right. Controls for the winch, if any of that worked. All right, so the first thing is right here is our battery box, right over here on the left side of the seat. And somebody stole our batteries, and when they stole them, they took and cut the cables and everything. So this is a 24-volt system, which means you need at least two 12-volt batteries hooked in sequence to make 24 volts. Now we've got the two batteries in the back end of the truck over there out of the F700. We're going to put them in here. I don't know if that's going to be enough power. That's going to be about 2,000 amps. But I don't know if that's going to be enough power to get this thing turned over or not. So we're going to try that first. We're going to have to take and restrip these cables and put some new ends on them. And then I do know that this little dozer has, if you can see it down there, right there, that's a little electric fuel pump. And the wiring looks like it runs up to this switch right here. So if we hook power up, then we've got a little electric pump to prime the fuel if the fuel's not already primed up. That'll make our life a lot easier if the injection pump is leaked down on the fuel side. As you might know, these diesels do not like to run when there's air in the line. Let's try to get some power hooked to it and see what we can do. And by the way, guys, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we got to do all kinds of cool projects. We got this dozer here. We've got a 2010 F350 Cummins swap and a 2017 Mustang, and that's just this week. So, who knows what we'll have next week? Let's do this.
Probably Bigfoot.
Probably Sasquatch. We've got power. That's our little prime pump. We're gonna let that run for a minute, prime up the injection pump. We do have fuel in it, so hopefully it works. Just pause the video and comment down below if you think it's gonna start or not. I've got faith in it. Let's do this. Fuel get the winch to stop turning.
Well, this should definitely be interesting. Westen with a bulldozer. Okay.
Oh my God, it runs! Look at that, we pushed some dirt with it too. That is freaking epic. Did you hear it? It sounded amazing. Like, I really didn't even expect it to start that easy. I just hit the key and within 3 seconds, it was running. Now, it does have some obvious issues. One of them is that the handles to turn it are froze together, so it's either all stop or all go. It's just a really optimistic dozer is what it is. And also the blade won't go up. So I got to figure out why that is. Maybe there's something wrong with the hydraulic system. But we'll get that figured out as well. But guys, we got a freaking dozer. Look at it, it's beautiful. And you know what? I can think of all kinds of cool things we can do with this dozer. What do you guys think? Make sure you leave a comment down below what you think we ought to do with this dozer. I'm coming up with ideas already. I guess that's where we're going to end this video. There still is a couple things that need to be done to this dozer. But I got to run off and get back to some of my other projects, so I don't got time to mess with it right now. But don't worry, the dozer will be back. And make sure you leave a comment down below what you think we ought to do with it. That way we got good ideas for the next video. Make sure you leave a like down below, because that tells YouTube that we're good guys and it promotes our video more. It might share it to more dozer enthusiasts. So, with that being said, if you're new here, always subscribe. My name's Weston. I will see you guys next time.